Cup of Joe with Grandpa Dez. Hey, Dave, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for coming on. I really
Oh,
appreciate this.
no problem. No problem.
Yeah,
Happy birthday.
thank you very much, man. Yeah, we're recording this on my birthday. This will drop tomorrow on the Fight Game Media channel. So, but yeah, we're recording on February 2nd. So busy day for you, obviously. Dynamite day. Thanks for taking time. And I want to
Yeah,
ask you about that. I don't normally talk about wrestling, but I have to ask you about that main event.
that was really good.
Yeah, but before I do that, I have a burning question, and I asked you this on Twitter one time, and yeah, I know you probably get 8 million notifications a day, so you probably missed it. But you had brought up on Wrestling Observer Radio that you were going to a Beach Boys concert a few months ago, right?
Yes, yes. Oh, what a disaster that turned into.
Was it? Okay, well, it's got nothing to do with the concert. What's your
Okay.
favorite Beach Boys song?
Oh man, I have no idea. I mean, I was a huge fan of the Beach Boys growing up, though. I mean,
Yeah,
during their I mean, when I was real young, and then second time was probably like when I was in high school when they sort of had like that short-lived kind of renaissance where they had a couple of new hits and everything like
like
that.
Kokomo and stuff.
Yeah, no, that was actually a few years later. That was like their last
Okay,
run, but it would have been one like in the late, I guess it's late 70s. They kind
really?
of had, yeah, because we went to see them Day on the Green and things like that.
So
Yeah,
they
yeah,
they they had new stuff during that time because
in
like
the late, in the late, in the
in
late
my mind
'70s.
they went from like Pet Sounds to like Kokomo and like nothing in between.
Yeah, yeah. But may have only been because when so we had we had like a Beach Boys tribute band that played that they were all from San Jose, like not far from where I lived, and they played like all over the West Coast. So we used to just like go to Disneyland, and there they were, and go to the concerts they played at our high school and everything. So but that was mostly Beach Boys and Jan and Dean stuff, and then the but the Beach Boys themselves I went to see many times in the 70s, and then my son, when he was very little, um he grew up on the Beach Boys, not
Really?
which was not my doing, but he just did, like, that was like the songs that were always playing in the house.
Yeah.
And so we took him to Papa Do Run Run, which was like the Beach Boys tribute band, and we took him to the Beach Boys at the Mountain Winery. So that would have been the last time that I saw the Beach Boys until a couple months ago.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
for me, I when I'm asked this question, I'll say for I personally like Sloop John B.
Yeah,
That's my
right.
favorite Beach Boys song. Like,
Yeah.
and Pet Sounds, I just love that album. So um not like
But
a
yeah,
huge,
I mean, just um
just don't say Surfing USA.
yeah, that was like the first one that I remember. That's like one of the more famous ones, but
Yeah.
all that early '60s stuff, it was for its time. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
everything for its time. In its
Yeah.
time, it was really the right thing for its time, for if you grew up in California and everything like that.
Of
So yeah,
course.
yeah,
Yeah. And they're still great. Like I mean, I've never seen them live, but I just saw them. They did like a show on CNN.
really.
It was like
Oh,
July 4th,
oh
when they had, it
wow.
was one of the first times when they had all the, you could have big crowds again. And they were in somewhere in Florida. And John Stamos was playing, with them. And they had one of the guy's sons was singing with them, and he looked like the same age as the rest of them because they got to be like in their 80s now.
Like late '70s, '80s. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, there are
yeah.
a couple of them that are still around. I saw them a couple months ago, but I only saw like the beginning of it because
Okay.
I was with somebody who got sick, so I had to go
Oh
home.
no.
Can you believe it? And it was like
Yeah, like,
and it was on a Wednesday, so it was like I was
oh
taking Wednesday,
geez.
and this was before, and I think this was before NXT moved to Tuesday. So I
Oh,
mean, it
good
was like I
lord.
had two shows to watch, and I took time out to go to the Beach Boys, and then the person who I was with got sick, and so it was like, man, what a now. But I mean, it was kind of like, okay, well, now Brian
Yeah.
will be happy because I'm watching both shows.
I haven't been to a concert. I don't even know when the last time was. But I think it was Heart I
Wow.
saw. And Joan Jett opened for them.
Oh
So
wow, wow, wow,
that
wow.
was
Yeah,
fun. That was like my wife and I, we paid, like, whenever we go to a concert, we'll pay like good money and we'll get like the VIP package. So we got
yeah.
to meet Hart. We
Oh
got to
wow,
go on stage, and like I got to hold Joan Jett's guitar and like, really cool stuff.
wow,
So,
wow. That's
and
cool.
Yeah, that's and I
I
saw.
went to I
Yeah,
went to
go.
the Temptations was the last
Oh
concert
my
I went to.
god.
Yeah, that was October.
Oh
Or it would have
wow.
been or end of September. Actually, I think it was like September, like the last week of September, actually. Yeah.
Love the Temptations.
Yeah, I had a great time.
Yeah, my friend David, you might know him, David Lovell,
I know
from
who he is.
England. Yeah,
Yeah.
he does a music show on Facebook, and so
Uh-huh.
he does all these songs and he talks in between them, and he's got a really good radio voice. And he did a Motown show today, and Temptations was a big part of it. And I like to think it was maybe a little bit for my birthday because he played a bunch of songs I really like. So
Yeah.
that was
I
really cool.
I
Tracks of
went
My Tears. Oh my god.
I
I
went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with my son the last
oh
time we were in
wow.
Los Angeles, and they have like a whole section of, Motown. So we were in the like one floor is just all Motown. So we were there like for a long time and playing. They have like tapes of like from like the 70s and the 60s. It's like I think they had like all the Grammys shows maybe of all time, and you push a button and you get it. So we were watching like
Oh
Grammys
wow.
from like, like 50, 60 years ago. Not that's quite 60, but over
Oh,
50.
that's
So
still.
yeah. It was so that was really a trip too. Yeah.
Your son is really into like older music, like he appreciates it.
I mean, I think he knows it, but I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
he's not a big music buff or anything.
Oh
But
okay, okay.
you grow up and
Yeah,
a lot of those songs, you know what I mean? Like, look, I mean, we grew up and I knew all the Elvis songs, and he was way before my time.
I
I
grew up
mean,
with Bob Dylan and Bread. That's all
yeah.
my parents played, like
Oh
for
wow,
till I
wow.
was like 14. That's all I ever heard was the best of Bread and Bob Dylan, like Freewheelin' and Greatest Hits, and
Yeah,
like
my parents were only into like opera music and old classical music, but I got into like Beethoven and that stuff too. And he
well,
was
that's
like,
cool. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So, the other question I had, burning, was have to ask you what it's like to be to be listed ahead of Bill Walsh
Oh
on
my
the San
God,
Jose State alumni list.
I know. Can you imagine that? That's ridiculous. I saw
Well,
that list and I was just like, okay, I was ahead of Bill Walsh and Peter Ubroth and the Smothers Brothers,
Peter
and
Ubroth too. Wow.
Peter Ubroth, Harry Edwards, who's like Harry
Yeah.
Edwards to me was like a hero when I was a kid, just because he was, and John Carlos, who was a Olympic medalist, Lee
Yeah.
Evans, who was Olympic
That's John
medalist.
Carlos, the guy that did the
The
salute
fist,
at the
yeah,
Mexico.
yeah.
Yeah.
John Carlos and Lee Evans,
Yeah.
they both did it.
Right.
Yeah, John
Okay. Yeah.
Carlos, Tommy Smith, and Lee Evans. And I didn't see Tommy Smith's name on there.
And
Tommy
he went
Smith,
to San Jose State too.
John Carlos, Tommy Smith, and Lee Evans all went to San Jose State
Oh wow.
when it was called Speed City,
Okay.
because it had the best track program in the country, and we had the best sprinters all came to San Jose. We had there was a period when Bruce Jenner was around, who you probably remember,
Oh yeah.
76.
Of course.
I think that
Montreal.
yeah, I think in the 76 Olympics, as I recall, if San Jose metropolitan area was a country, it would have been like 13th in medals, because
Wow.
all the weight guys trained at the same gym as me. All of them, like every
Yeah.
shot putter, discus thrower, they all came here because you could train outdoors year round. You know what I mean? It doesn't get cold or anything like that. So we had like Brian Oldfield, who, if you remember, who actually wanted to be a pro wrestler at one
Oh wow.
point. He was in the Gagne camp, but
Oh,
that's pretty.
weightlifter.
He was a shot putter,
Oh, shot
incredible
put. Okay.
shot putter. But he was a shot putter who was very, very agile. So it's like and he had a great body from a physical standpoint, and the blonde hair, like he looked like a guy who could be like a Hulk Hogan. But Gagne tortured those guys at that camp, so he didn't last. I mean, all those stories. If you watch the Ric Flair thing, with Steamboat talking about that thing, it's basically, train you till you drop, and then Billy Robinson stretches you, and it's just like, it's really not that comfortable, and you really have to want it bad, and he evidently didn't want it that bad.
Who's ahead of you on the list that people?
Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham were ahead of
Oh,
me,
really?
and Dick
I thought
Vermeil.
Lindsey Buckingham was from England. I guess I was wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, how high on the list were you? Because I got this question fed to me.
Number on the list. I think I was number 13
Wow.
on the all-time list of
Wow.
of people who went to San Jose State, as far as like whatever they were ranked on, like on importance, certainly not notoriety, but
I didn't even go to university, so I got that in common with Brian Alvarez. But I did okay. I got no complaints.
yeah.
So another thing I want to talk to you about. I don't know if you remember this, but so the last time we would have saw each other would have been probably Double or Nothing. The first one, like 3 years ago, 2019 now. Hoping to go
Wow.
this year.
Yeah,
But
me too.
a couple years before that,
Yeah, because
I
you
was
couldn't go. You couldn't go across the border for the last one we went
that's
to,
right.
right?
I had tickets and I
You were going
couldn't
to go.
go.
I remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Now this time I can go, but I have my daughter is due for my second grandchild on June 15th, but they're planning on inducing her 3 weeks early, which would
Oh
be
wow.
Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, so
So
that kills it.
it does, unless things change. So I got connections. I might be able to get a ticket, kind of by standby, and I'll just book a last minute flight if I can. But if she goes early, or if it looks like she's going to go late, then I can sneak away for a couple of days.
Yeah.
But the reason I bring it up is before that, a couple of years before that, we were driving through California. I don't know if you remember this, and I got a hold of you, and I said, I'm going to be in your neck of the woods, and it just so happened it was on like a Thursday,
Oh,
and
so it's
which is
brutal.
like the absolute worst day for you.
Yeah.
And but you had suggested, you said, you know what? Because we said there was a couple things we wanted to do, and you're like, okay, go here. You directed us to the boardwalk,
Oh, the boardwalk in
the
Santa Cruz.
beach.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So we ended up going there. We had a great time. But I was thinking about that, and then shortly after that, this pandemic hits, and it's like, man, like, those moments, those times that you had that you won't have back, and it's like you wish if you knew what you knew, you would probably try to make time, to do things. Like
Yeah.
I passed through, I didn't see Garrett, and
Mhm.
it's like I just kind of figured there's a few people I contacted. We went back up the coast. I ended up seeing Brian. I hung out with him for, a few hours at his place, and we actually did a show together. And and so I had a few strategic places I was going, but the kids really wanted to go to California,
Mhm.
so we went through Reno because we have friends there. And then so it was easy. If we're going to go to California, well, we're going to go to northern part of California, as opposed to like going down to Los Angeles, because that would add like 2 more days to our trip.
Mhm.
So I don't know, like, and you must have moments like that too. Like, I know,
Oh,
you
I
talked
was.
about
It
your
was.
cousin, and
Oh, geez. We just. I was watching MJF. The last time I saw my cousin,
yeah.
it was at the Atlanta airport. It was me, my cousin, and MJF, and we got lost at the
Mm,
airport together. And then she flew home, and actually probably on the same flight as him because they both lived in Long Island. So they were both flying home, and I was flying to California. That was the last time I saw her. It was
wow.
funny because I had some friends over to watch the show, and I said, like, that's the last time I saw my cousin. They're asking, do you know MJF? And I go, like, I'm not friends with him, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm friendly with him. But it's like the last time I saw Sherry was with Max. And we
Wow.
were talking about the Midnight Express, and he's a big fan of 1970s territorial wrestling. Like, that's where he gets his ideas in a lot of ways, like the Wahoo McDaniel, Greg Valentine feud and
Yeah.
Midnight Express and the Young Bucks. It's funny because we were just going like, Cornette would hate to hear it. And he loves Jim Cornette, as far as the history stuff, not
Yeah.
necessarily the new stuff, but the history stuff. I mean, we both kind of thought it's like such a shame because Jim Cornette's history stuff is so incredible and his knowledge of history is so incredible. And instead he's out there, playing heel and trying to make enemies. And it's like, why? I mean, I
Yeah.
guess I mean, he probably has his reasons, but it's like, I don't know. It's like you just like, hold a grudge for 30 years for no reason. It just gets ridiculous.
The bring up MGF. I might as well, talk. We got a few more minutes here and talk about this match tonight, because when you talk about what a fan he is of old school wrestling, to me, like, this was like a
This was an old
Dusty
school match.
Rhodes. What?
This was like an old school
This
house
was like a
show.
yeah,
Big time house show. Yeah.
but a great,
Yeah.
and CM Punk was like Dusty Rhodes,
Hmm.
and and like
And he was Tully
MJF.
Blanchard.
Yeah, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
they just like, and I made
Or
the
Ric
like
Flair.
I made
Not,
yeah, I
not
made
quite
the
Ric
comment on
Flair. I
Twitter.
wouldn't say that, but
This
Tully Blanchard.
match, this match would have you could have aired this on 1980 AWA. You could have aired it in 1986 Crockett. You could have aired this on, a world class. This would have been a great match anywhere, anytime, any style.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was so perfect. And I
Yeah.
mean, it wasn't, I mean, I don't know, like, I'll see your star rating probably when you do the Observer, but to me, this was like the best North American match I've seen this year so far. It's a short year, but um,
I just watched Osprey and Michael Oku right before, and
oh
that
wow,
was like a throwback to the 80s, but that match was, from an emotional standpoint, was way better. But
was
it
that
was just
Progress?
Revolution Pro.
Revolution Pro. So
That
okay, so
match was
doesn't
unbelievable.
qualify under North American then, but
Right? No, it's not. It's not North
yeah.
American.
But
Yeah, I'm trying to
Revolution
think.
Pro, okay, I'll check that out. I'll check that.
I mean,
The best one before this would have been Hangman and Page, I think, but on
Hangman. I like Hangman and Danielson.
or Hangman and Danielson.
I like Hangman and Danielson more, and I like Sammy
Okay.
Guevara and Cody more.
Okay.
Just because of
Yeah, fair enough.
just because of the I mean, just
really like
innovation and craziness, and the fact that they hit all their spots that
I really like
that were
match too.
Yeah, so those would be some of my favorites. I'm trying to think. I probably would have had favorites if I went to Bola this weekend, but I didn't go. So
yeah,
so I heard some of that stuff was incredible.
Garcia and Speedball.
Yeah,
I saw a Speedball Garcia match from I want to say it was either late 2018 or early 2019 from Montreal.
Oh wow!
For IWS, International Wrestling Syndicate, we get that on the Fight Network. I saw it not that long ago, like maybe 6 months ago, but they air old shows. So this was right after Garcia had debuted in AEW. So it's just like, and I'd never seen Mike Bailey because I'm not a big indie guy, and he's been blackballed for the last 5 years.
He was not allowed in the United States for years. Yeah. He was he had just started doing really well in PWG, and
this would have been just before Garcia's accident, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was really awesome though. Like for an indie match, like from two guys, that the crowd probably didn't know all that well. Garcia had probably only been doing this for like 2 years at that point.
Yeah.
He's like, oh my God, he's so good.
Yeah. Just a question of getting him over, but as a wrestler, he's really good. Yeah.
Well, they teased something tonight that could help with that. if
possibly.
Put him with Danielson, like that's strapping a rocket to him.
Yeah.
So so we got just a couple minutes left. I should have told you the gimmick on this show is we're supposed to have something to drink. So I got a Diet Coke. I don't know if you got anything with you.
I have nothing.
Okay, here. That's cool. That's all right. I have the Cup of Joe for me, but take a sip. I know you're not supposed to drink on the air, but it doesn't matter for me.
Yeah.
So I got to tell you this. I had my grandson over here today for my help celebrate my birthday, and he's like, they're getting ready to go, and he's like, I want to watch wrestling with Papa. And I'm like, he doesn't normally want to do that, but every once in a while he does, right? So this was right before Dynamite. I was about to start watching Dynamite, but I still had the last match of NXT to watch. So I put that on, and he's sitting there watching it, and I'm wondering, like, is he gonna like this? Like, he's never really seen this, right? And so he's watching it, and he looks like he's enjoying it. And then he's like, "Who's that guy? What's that guy's name? Whatever." And then so I show him Braun Breaker, and he's like, "Do you like his outfit?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's cool." And I said, "Well, he's a champion." So my 5-year-old grandson says to me, "If he's a champion, why is he losing?"
Because it's WWE.
Yeah,
they put the belt on you and then they beat you.
Yeah, I mean, he ended up winning the match, but he was getting his butt kicked through most of the match. So I thought it was hilarious that my 5-year-old came up with that, and yet in WWE, it's like,
well, every champion sells a lot. I mean, and then they should. So they shouldn't lose all the time though.
No, but and you know what? To be fair, they've done a pretty good job with him. With Braun.
They've done a great job with him.
They've
done a great job with him.
And that match was actually really good. The opener was good, the main event was good, and the rest of the show was pretty bad. Yeah. But he got to see the good match anyways. So you know what? That'll just about do it. I want to thank you for coming. Thank you for just taking some time out of my birthday. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll get to see each other soon in person. I hope to be there in May. You know what? Are you going to be at Mania?
I don't know. I've made no plans.
Okay.
As far as that goes. So because of the 2 days, it's like it's tough. I probably won't. I mean, it's like I could conceivably go, but like Wednesday, Thursday, but then how would I do my issue that week? And if it was a 1 day, if it was like before AEW was on Wednesday, I could just leave I could get the issue done a day early. And then be out there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then come home Sunday morning and watch Mania at home. But it's tough. It's tough. So I don't anticipate going. I mean, if Brian wants to do a show there, I'll do it.
I don't even think he's going. Like he told me he's not, but I mean, plans change.
If he's not, then I'm probably not going either.
We're planning on driving down there because my daughter. Did you hear about the stuff with my daughter and Becky Lynch?
No.
I put a picture on Twitter. My daughter has these, my daughter has special needs, right? And she
Uh-huh.
has, she can't walk, and she has these things called AFOs, which are to help straighten her legs, so that when she's doing her physical therapy, she can keep her legs straight. And so she was allowed to have a design on her AFOs, and we got a picture of Becky Lynch because
Mhm.
Becky's her favorite wrestler. This was
Mhm.
before she came back and before she turned heel.
Mhm.
And so I took a picture of it and I put it on Twitter, and then Brian retweeted it, and then Seth saw it and said, "Oh, beautiful smile." And then somehow Becky got it. And then as soon as Becky saw it, she contacted me via DM and she set up a Zoom
Oh, that's so
to meet
sweet.
Emily. Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's so
then
sweet.
she's like, like if you're going to WrestleMania, like I want to meet her in person and stuff. So like if as long as the COVID settles down, and it looks like it probably will, we're going to go down there. We're all vaccinated, including Emily. So we're hoping to go down there first week of April, and hopefully she'll get to meet Becky. So it's gonna be a busy week for her, but hopefully
Yeah.
she can make some time for us.
Yeah.
And and that'll be her first WrestleMania and only her second live show. I brought her to a house show about 4 years ago, so this will be cool. And hopefully, WWE can set us up
Yeah. Yeah,
with some
that'd be
good
cool.
seats. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, anyways, for Dave, I want to thank you again for coming on. I've been Grandpa Dez, and this has been Cup of Joe with Grandpa Dez.